Hey everybody, Ham here, and where is he? Oh, there he is. And the chicken. Is this cool? I found these a while back. There's actually a water company named Fred. How cool is that? And, it's the same as any other ridiculous price we pay for bottled water. But that brings up a point that Fred and I both want to talk about tonight. And this is going to be kind of serious, so Fred's agreed to step out so that I can have the table. Excuse me. Summer's here. We're all going to be out and about. Hopefully we're all going to be out and about a lot more. And you know that I already have, from previous videos, you know that I have very close ties to both the search and rescue and first responder community. And already in June, we're starting to come upon a great number of cases that has proven to be one of the greatest dangers to people during the whole year, and that is lack of fluids, hydration. People don't realize how quickly you can get dehydrated even if you're not exercising strenuously, and they fail to plan for adequate water while they're out. Especially the casual, occasional hike, day trip. I can always stop at 7-Eleven. Well, there aren't too many 7-Eleven convenience stores in the middle of the George Washington National Forest. Okay? And that's why a little bit of preparation goes a long way. I'm sure you all know you can go numerous days without food, but you can only last about 3 days without water. And especially with the kind of heat that we're looking at this year from the advanced meteorology that we've seen, hydrating is going to be critical. Not what you bring with you, but how you replenish. And that's what we want to just address here real quick. There are many different ways to carry water and replenish your water, and now at the start of the warm season, you and your family, please, really need to make sure you're up to speed on what your options are for potable water. Potable meaning drinkable water. Okay? Now, there's a number of, you'll have to excuse me, I was at a house fire earlier today and I inhaled a little bit of smoke. Didn't go in, but the wind shifted. There are a number of different ways on YouTube that you can see to filter your water, address the water issue while you're out and about, and I'm sure most of you are aware of it. But it's important that everyone in your family knows how important it is to hydrate and to stay hydrated and to have a ready source of water available, even if all you're doing is going to the museum for the day. Okay, I can't stress this enough. You have bottled water. I mean, there's numerous different ways you can carry it. There are smaller hip flasks that can go into a purse or a bag that you can get at various outdoor stores. Nalgene. Our friends at Nalgene not only make the famous 32-ounce bottle, but they also make various different sizes. This is actually kind of cool. Excuse me again. This is a 300 milliliter hip flask with a large cap, and it has a cup that can be used, in numerous ways. But it's made out of that same tough Nalgene plastic, and it's also clear so you can see what's going on with the fluid inside. Of course, you know the Nalgene bottle, and I've shown you this before. I have the Firefly caps on my Nalgene bottles so that they can be used in a camping situation as a lantern as well as a water bottle. And that's just, you don't need that, but these come in BPE friendly plastic. They also come in metal, so they can be sterilized, or you can even cook in some of them. There's a number of different bottles. I mean, even if you're just out walking and you have one of these little quickie Walmart things that has the sport cap on top, and the little shoulder carrier that you can throw over your shoulder as you're walking, especially if you have small children. You need to make sure there is adequate water available for them. Now, if you've got military experience, of course, this is the excuse me again. I'm going to get that stuff out of there, man. Maybe I need to smoke more and raise my tolerance level. The good old U.S. military issue 1-quart canteen is still alive and kicking. Still one of the best ways to carry a small water supply with you. But again, you need to drink multiple quarts per day, the average adult, in order to stay adequately hydrated, and that goes up with the amount of physical activity. So you will need to replenish at some point. You need to familiarize yourself. If you're going to be out in the bush, okay, in the woods, hiking, whatever, and there are no ready sources of clean, potable water available, and you need to refresh from a natural source, a creek, a river, whatever, you need to know how to sterilize your water, and there are a number of ways to do that. I always carry, I don't know what that was, potable aqua, which is chlorine dioxide. Proven to kill over 99% of the existing bacteria that can be inherent in non-filtered water. Now, again, remember, that's only one type of filtration for your water. If you're in an urban area, if you're anywhere near where urban runoff from industry, factories, or whatever can get into your water supply that you're going to be tapping out of, you've got a lot of stuff to deal with. So it's always smart to not just rely on one source of filtration. The tablets are an excellent start, but you may also want to consider combining the tablets with an external filtration system, such as the excellent Frontier filters that are made by Aquafina. Okay, now the Frontier system uses activated charcoal to cover what the tablets may miss as far as various organisms that are in the water. The tablets do a great job, but the combination of both is going to ensure that you have a cleaner source of water available. And the instructions are clearly marked: 1 tablet of chlorine dioxide per quart of water. And you let it sit for 30 minutes, shaking it up, make sure that it works. If you can, you want to leave it as long as possible before you drink it. 30 minutes is good. It's the minimum. An hour is even better. Okay? But using that in combination with this will ensure that when you do drink this water, you have an adequate filtered source of water that won't sneak up a couple hours later and really get to you. Because if you're out away from everybody, the last thing you want is an intestinal virus or something else that can really get you. So it's important to think of that. Now, people say, chlorine dioxide, God, it tastes terrible. Yeah, it does. I won't lie to you. Even the new ones that say, well, it leaves no aftertaste. Well, that's bullshit. You can taste the chlorine, okay? And even, it's, you know, there's adequate proof that if you carry just a small amount of chlorine bleach, pure chlorine bleach, without any of the extra additives they pull in nowadays for, you know, colored clothes and things like that, just regular chlorine bleach, a few drops in a quart of water will do the same job. But again, it leaves it tasting like chlorine. So what you can do is simply go to the store, and depending on the size of the water supply you have, get some of the powdered drink mixes that are designed to go into a water bottle. Okay, if you've got a larger supply, use a larger amount and simply mix it in. It will negate the taste of the chlorine to a great degree. It doesn't affect the potability of the water, and makes it a little easier to drink if you're worried about aftertaste. So, you know, there's a thing there. Now, of course, a lot of you that are the more serious hikers are going to be aware of the larger water storage systems. For instance, now this is too big for the camera here, but Camelback. Of course, you know, if you go to an outdoor store, any sort of camping supply store, or military surplus, even like this is a military surplus water bladder. Camelback has set the standard and is the accepted leader in the industry as far as water bladders. These can fit either in their own harness that you can carry in your chest or your back, or most of the modern day packs or 3-day packs, whatever you're using, are going to have a space on board to carry a water bladder like this. You simply fill it, cap it, and then it has a drinking tube that can go out of the pack and over your shoulder, usually down one of the shoulder straps, and you have a valve with a pull tube. You simply open the valve and draw the water out, okay, and then close the valve again. Okay, so, and this is all cleanable, removable. Note to the wise, if you're going to get this from an Army surplus store like this one, there are materials available. You need to clean this extraordinarily well. Not to slight the military, but some of these things may have been cleaned when they were turned in by the active staff and then sat in a warehouse for over a year. Okay, sometimes they were open, sometimes not. Dust, contaminants, everything in here, they need to be cleaned very, very thoroughly. Sometimes you can even open up the bladder casing and pull the rubber bladder out to make sure you wash it, but it needs to be washed and rinsed thoroughly before you use it. And simply putting the tablets in here without washing it first is a recipe for disaster. So you want to make sure you do that. Now I want to show you something I found that has started to come out on the surplus market. I used to use these back when I was in the Air Force. This is the good old 5-quart flotation bladder and canteen. This is actually a early version of the Camelback. This was the closest thing to a hydration bladder that they had before they came out with the Camelback models. Okay, now this has a fill collar, and you can see inside is the standard cap. What you would do is you'd simply put your purification tablets in first. Remember, 5 quarts, so if it's 1 tablet per quart, 5 to 6 tablets in there. Okay, and then you would lower it down into the water vertically and fill the bladder, and then again allow it time to purify. But this was a good way to carry a number of quarts of water in your Alice pack or whatever you had. This is back in the latter part of the 20th century, until they started coming out with the new hydration systems, which are vastly better. But these are starting to show up at the surplus stores. They're in excellent shape, and they collapse up very well, and it may be a good idea to try to find one and put it in. It has adequate instructions on both sides. And what's weird is this was also supposed to be a personal flotation bladder, to be used like in river crossing, something like that. It was designed to keep the head above water, and you basically blew it up, sealed it, and then attached it to your web gear or whatever. That they didn't work, but somebody really proved to the world exactly how good recreational chemicals can be when working for the Department of Defense. But as a water system, you couldn't beat it. Anyway, so a number of different ways to hydrate, but again, whatever you use, I don't care if it's a baggie with water in it, please be sure that not only are you prepared, but that members of your family, anybody you're going to be out with, is aware of what has to be done to make sure you have the ability to replenish a potable drinking water system for whatever you do this summer. Even if you're cutting the grass, these little bottles from Walmart, okay, they sling over your shoulder. Keep them on the lawn tractor, whatever. But always make sure you have a ready source of water available. Sometimes just thinking, well, you know, I've got water in the house or on the side of the house, that's not a problem if I'm really thirsty. You won't realize how dehydrated you are, especially if it gets serious and that sun is beating down, until it's too late. You could think you have time to walk to the house. You could think you have time to walk to the side of the house, and you won't make it. And hopefully somebody will be there to see you fall. Don't take the chance. We love having you in our community. I regard you all as friends, and I want everybody to have a safe and happy time as we get into the warm weather. So please, everybody, take care. We'll see you later.